to Calling Me Happy podcast. My name is Brandy Hofer. Thank you so much for being here today. I sure do appreciate your time. I had a sore face after this conversation from smiling so much. It uplifted me for the whole entire week after we spoke. And I guess Mike just does that for more than just me. I know that. He has this way of inspiring community, and that's what's so special about him. But he also, and we talk about this a lot in the episode, why is he successful at that? How can he positively affect so many people? And I think it all comes down to, and we talk about it a lot in the podcast, is that self-care. Because you can't take care of others if you're not taking care of yourself. And Mike goes to great lengths to take care of himself and be his best self for the community. And he has this beautiful energy and air about him, and he is a kind and giving, very giving individual, as you'll find out as you hear about some of the projects he does. So he says in this episode, the thing is, that bar will always move. You'll never hit it. The bar just goes higher and you keep going. You keep chasing the finish line. And it's really not the end game we're chasing. The end game in life is death. And you should see your everyday ordinary as extraordinary. And you should know that the little things add up to the big things. We are doing things that make us happy. Being creative, striving for more, and showing up every day in all your forms. The trick to success, I think, would have to be opening yourself up to the idea that you can't do this alone. If there's anything I've learned, is that there's power and meaning in community. You need to go beyond yourself, overcome those fears, connect with others. Then and only then can you open yourself up to the possibility of things going above and beyond what you ever imagined. Your friends and mentors will see things in you that you can't really see in yourself, and people rise together. So I think it's important you find your community and surround yourself with the people that lift you up. Then you can positively tired. I'm at the end of my 5-hour editing stint. But I want to release a whole bunch of podcasts, get that done so I have some big creative projects coming up, so I want to leave some time for that. But I love this so much. So let me finish this last sentence. Let's positively share our most beautiful selves with the world. Enjoy this episode. I know you will smile from ear to ear throughout, and we'll chat soon. I sure do appreciate your time, friend. Welcome, Mikey Jamal. Thank you for being here today.
So here I was supposed to be incognito and tell you I don't know where I am.
Okay, so no, I have no idea how your name. Well, I know how it changed in the first place.
Yeah, you know what? I'll take it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Thanks
for being here, Mike.
No issue. Or Neki Jamal. It depends on what we want to talk about. We want to talk about dentistry. I am not your person.
How much do you know about dentistry?
You know what? I hang out with the guy so much that I know a little bit, I feel like now. So
the fact that they can have conferences and he speaks about it, that blows my mind too. It's just he's pumping up dentists from around the globe.
Oh man, and that's my thing, is I just kind of giggle because I'm like, I called him last night and I said, hey, I got this thing with Brandy, but my whole studio's tore down because we're moving the collab print shop to a new location, and I'm taking all my DJ stuff, all my tech, all my lights, everything over there. So everything's dismantled. And I'm like, well, I could put something together and shoot it out of my workout, my running room. And then I was like, man, Neki's got everything set up in this beautiful little studio of his own. So I'm like, can I borrow yours? But then apparently when you're on his Wi-Fi, you're just Neki Jamal all over. I wonder if I have access to his bank accounts.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can get in on that.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Build our dream homes.
Poor guy. Just never be invited back over here. And I have no idea. I'm looking at the screen. And you know what the funny thing is? I'm extremely non-tech savvy. So it's like I have no.
Really? But you're a DJ.
Yeah, but DJing's music, right?
Yeah, I
It's
guess. But there's technical aspects to it. Like
I,
and are you not an engineer?
I am, but I'm like the more
So
I'm the field engineer guy. I'm the guy that like,
okay.
wants to help build things and work with field operators and all this other stuff. But when it comes to computer, like the other day I was using Microsoft Projects and I had to call an IT over and be like, or EIT, like one of the new grads, and just was like, hey man, how do you actually get these to link? And he like looked at me, he goes, you make so many of these. How do you not how to do this? No, it's just trial by fire every day.
I feel like with our generation, we had like so much to learn because we came from a point in our lives where it wasn't there. Like we didn't have everyone, like there was one computer in like our house, like growing up, and no one had a cell phone. And like we have, I think we've done pretty well
I,
for
I
like coming from that world of like not so much to like all of a sudden everything all at once.
So picture this now. Put yourself in your Bubba's shoes and say, how is she coping with this? No wonder I get calls and FaceTimes that are like, they look like they're like up in her face because I don't think she realizes she's FaceTiming me. And then she's asking for, I got this other pop-up. And I'm just like, oh man, this is why scammers are like, take advantage of it. Take advantage
The
of it.
old
Because they
people.
can. They can.
They say I owe them money. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I always joke my grandma's like, I read your blob. It's so good.
Your
I'm
blob.
like, if she got there, she can call it whatever she wants.
Yeah, that's the first thing you go, yo, Bubba, how did you even get to my blob? Like, how did you even figure it out?
Yeah.
Oh,
So no, I mean they're doing well too. Like by that time, at this point too, I'm like everything's changing so much. I'm like, I kind of want to give up.
yeah,
I
it's
can see
true.
how old people are like back when I was. I feel like I just want to like get to the point, well, when I was this age, so I'm not doing your thing.
Yeah, right?
I don't want to figure it out. Um anyway, but I mean we're always learning. I want to start with you early on. So we know each other uh from way back. I have pictures of like you in my basement when we were like
Young.
yeah,
This
14 or 15 or no, Tegan Roberts had just gotten his license or something.
So we would have been just 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have just because I would have been
And of
16 a
course he
few
had a
months.
cool truck. So
Yeah, cool truck. And I don't even know I don't think I had a vehicle even yet at that point. So
I had a cube van.
man, that's sick though. That's back
I did
then,
not appreciate it.
hey, it was something though, right? A to B.
Yeah.
A to
Yeah.
B. That's all that mattered. So yeah, we've known each other for a long, long time. And it's funny because, since we've known each other, like people drift, but then similar, interests will always bring people back together. Right. And then, so, as you grow up and you go to the university and you make these other friends. And the thing is, you never lose sight of the friendships you had before you left. And if you do, well, I guess that's your choice. But when you come back, you still know everybody. But it's interesting to see how life has changed. Some friends stayed on that projected path that you could almost guess or bet money on that's what they were going to do for their life. And then other friends, they whether they became something that was out there in the wide open or, in the art scene is huge now. And this is what I love is there's a lot of friends that I didn't know that are doing such creative things now that I'm like, this is so sweet. And
Yeah.
seeing where you've gotten with like just your painting, like, it's so funny. When I first saw your first painting and people were like, hey, have you ever heard of this artist? She's from like the Lloyd area. And people knew I was from Lloyd. I'm like, I looked at it, I go, yeah, I do. And holy Jesus, she's doing such a good job.
You're so sweet.
Well, it's true though, right? Because I was kind of removed from it, right? I was in university, engineering, math, DJ. I kind of lost track of everything I was doing, right? Because you're just so busy. Your day is now, completely full. You don't have time, and we didn't have social medias at the time, so unless you had that direct line of communication with them, you didn't know what anyone was up to, right? And then all of a sudden, social started to blow up, Facebook, then Instagram. Now it's like, sweet, I can support them without having to nag them with daily texts. What are you doing? How are you doing? What are you doing? And, I listened to like a bunch of your podcasts, and I thought it was funny because like that one question, hey, how much do you get paid? I heard that in one, like people ask you, like,
Oh,
how much
did
do you
you?
make?
Did I
Oh,
answer?
no, you
I
said,
probably.
no, this is my favorite part. You answered saying, uh, if I'm correct, like because I listen to them all the time, I just like photographic memory snippet things out. I think you said, do I ask my dentist how much I got paid? But now you're talking to a dentist, as you can see, Nikki Jamal. So would you like to ask me any of these questions?
Yeah, no, people do ask me like how why do you think you can charge for that? And it's just like I don't even think person, I want to even humor you because you're not going to buy it.
Yeah.
So I don't even want to go into this conversation at all. In fact, I just have something to do over here.
And that's kind of where I was going with it. And sorry, I have ADD, and you know this. Like I'll just if I find a road, I'm just going down it. But when we go back to the arts, like people taking that avenue of arts, I found the most interesting thing was always people were more concerned, how much money can you make off art? Or is art something that you have a passion for? They forget that, right? They forget everyone's got this, I want to be an entrepreneur mentality. So they come to you and they go, Brandon, you are amazing at painting. Because you are. Look at all the stuff in the back. Even the little rainbow that someone happened to miss the canvas, hit the wall, and they're doing their thing. Like, you know what I mean? But like stuff like that, people go, how does she capitalize money on it? And you're like, in your heart, you're like, no, I do it because this is a true passion of mine. Now, do I get compensated with some money to do it? Sure, but it didn't come day one. You didn't paint your first canvas and say, here you are, and I want $1 billion. And everyone's like, sweet. You had to, people forget about the grind, the grit, the time commitment on the front end before you even had enough nerve to post that first canvas, before I had to step on a stage to DJ, like there is so much behind the scenes that people don't get, but everyone just sees, how can I capitalize on it? And this is what hurts me with the art scene, is that's where everyone's head's at. I want to do this. I want to do that. Oh, because Brandy or Mike, they made some money off it. I think they made money. They don't even know. I think they did, and it's just kind of like, I just laugh when people say that to me. The art of DJing, the art of creativity, the art of, clothing design and stuff. I just go, have fun. You're about to see it's a broke boy sport. It is very
or like
broke.
podcasting,
Yeah.
podcasting, time consuming. Do you get paid? No. Like,
Zero.
but you make it a business and you figure it out along the way. But however, and I have two things to say. I have one, when you're passionate about something, and it is hard. I work at it every day. Like I don't have set hours. I like it, but I'm totally obsessed with it because I can't think about anything else because it's not work when it's your passion. Like it is work and it is hard, but it feels good because you love it. And I always think back to that quote by Judge Judy, and she says, "The greatest gift you can give yourself is to find something you're naturally adept at and find out a way to make a living at it. Because if you do that, every day will be a play day. You're never battling upstream. And if you love what you do, why do you want to stop doing it?" And Michelle Lake and I had local artist Michelle Lake on, and we talked about for years, like we could have worked at McDonald's and got paid a fuckload more than we were making, and we would have gotten to eat free McDonald's and benefits.
And
So
benefits, it just keep coming.
I was telling I'm launching a new site soon, and I was telling my designer, I was like, not too long ago I made minus $1,000 one year, and her face was like, who am I teaming up with right now? And I'm like, but we've gone like way up since then.
I have the best business philosophy and plan for you. What is that? I'm gonna make no money for so many years, and then hopefully I can turn the passion into a purpose, and we can do something that's like any investor, anybody that comes to the table will just look at you like, okay,
she worked her whole career with Fortune 500 companies. So I'm like, let me
tell you a little story about me.
Who am I partnering with right now? I was like, but like, if we go from basically nothing, like we're doing really good right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you set the bar to a realistic goal, everyone maybe sometimes puts a little too optimistic and they think they have what it takes to achieve that. But that's where your mind has to be. But the realistic goal has to be set correctly, right? You mentally want to think optimistic because you just want to keep reaching. And the thing is, that bar always will move. You'll never hit it. If you want to be successful, let's say you set the bar optimistic, but then you manage to figure it out and you hit it. Well, you're not done. It doesn't stop there. Now the bar just goes higher and you keep going and you keep going, And that's what I love about it. Like,
Is it
so
normal? Is that normal? Or is that just like us who are like busybodies?
you know what? Uh, my whole life is driven on that kind of stature, right? My thoughts are always, you keep chasing the no finish line, and this is why I love ultra running, right? And it kind of relates to it a bit, and that's probably why.
Yeah, by
I
the way, everyone, Mike is like an extreme runner.
and
We
you know what?
didn't, I'll introduce you in your intro later, but
Yeah,
yeah.
and ultra running, like the big thing with ultra running was there was no, like, there is a finish line, but it's so far out there that it's not like I need to be there in 4 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours. It's like I just got to get finished, right? And that has trained me to take that and apply it to my day job, apply it to my entrepreneur jobs, apply it to my passions, because you know what, there's no finish line. I don't do a DJ set and then it's over. I don't do I don't print some hoodies for some like local community thing and then it's over, right? It's now, how can we do better for them, for us, for everyone around us, and it just keeps progressing. And I guess that's what makes the shut off never happen, right? It's just you're always chasing the optimistic goal with no finish line in sight. And I will live my whole life with that. I'll never have a finish line, so I'll never, it's not that I'll never be happy. I'm happy all the time. This right here, what we're doing, makes me super happy, super excited to tell my wife as I'm leaving, like, hey, Con, I'm out of here, I'm doing that. And she goes, make sure you say hi to Brandy for me. And she takes off. But it's like you said, we're not making no money off this, but this is sweet. It's fun. It's something different. It's creative. Like, why not? And especially
Yeah,
when you got a name
it
tag of
doesn't
Nikki
mean
Jamal.
you can't. Yeah, like star badge.
Yeah, star badge, boom.
Like, it doesn't mean that you can't, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so I started podcasting and just every day I work at it. And this is why like books like Atomic Habits are so freaking popular,
For
because
sure.
he's telling people the secret. You slowly build and you show up every day. Right? You slowly build, and it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, sometimes that happens, but for me, I have never experienced like viral anything ever. But the slow pace of showing up, writing for 15 minutes a day, I wrote a book, showing up for podcasts, showing up for my newsletter. So another thing I talked to my website designer about is, I was like, we were talking about email subscribers, and I was like, well, what's like the average, like what's the industry standard? She's like, the industry standard is 5%. So this is how I know showing up every day doing something works. And so we have weekly inspiration newsletter, and I put so much time into it's like all my weekly newsletters could add up to a book. I put so much time into wanting to help people with like inspiring information. And I like a few weeks ago I was like, why am I doing this? It's so time consuming. And then I said to her, I have a 50% open rate. And she's like, that is not even heard of in the email business world. I was like, so I get an A++? She's like, you get an A++.
Really?
So when you show up being your honest, authentic self, and we talked about this with Jan Arden on the podcast a lot, is she made a career out of being herself. When you show up as yourself authentically, I think that is the ticket, that is the key. And you do that so well. Can you give our listeners like tips on, oh, he's gone. Nikki Jamal, come back. I don't know what happened. He was trying to resolve something. And I'm most likely going to forget in editing that he popped off. So I'm just going to keep talking about what I'm talking about, maybe, and he'll come back. So daily habits and routine are like the key to building anything. And when Mike talked about like the paintings like in the background and how they got to where they are, it's like I've been doing this for almost 20 years. I've been painting for almost 20 years, and I feel like, well, I'll never master being a painter, but it's not something I worry about anymore. If this painting looks good, or if it's going to turn out, or like I have confidence because I've done it for so long. And it's something I no longer worry about. So when you show up daily for these routines, eventually they become habits, and it's something you no longer have to worry about. And it just slowly happens over time and you don't notice. I kept talking because I always forget to edit.
Dude, it shut off and I was like, what just happened? And now it came back and it's like completely different.
Even better.
So
The other camera hooked up on you. He has a better camera.
It must have. Am I at least still Neki Jamal?
Like, yeah, you are. You're still sitting in his shoes. Okay, so do you have any
sorry.
like, because you show up for yourself with running, you show up for your partner, being a solid partner, you show up for the community, like you do a lot of things. You're multifaceted. How do you keep that energy?
You know what? My biggest thing is happiness. You know, a lot of smiling, lots of positive energy, even when you're in dark places, like you have a bad day. Everyone's gonna have bad days, everyone's gonna have bad experiences. Trying to find silver lining always, you know, taking a minute to sit back. And you can't just say something bad happens and then you're gonna just be like put a smile on your face and walk away and be fake. It's about taking some time for yourself, whatever that means to you. Whether, like for me, I like running. It's like a way to like cleanse my soul.
It's a meditation for sure.
It is. And you know what? Meditation's huge for me too. I like stretching, things like that. But, you know, taking 5, 10 minutes, an hour, 3 hours, whatever it is, to just kind of find the silver lining, to stay in that stress-free, positive attitude. That's a huge thing. And then another thing is rest. Like everyone makes fun of me because I go to bed at like 8:39 every night, but I'm up at, 4:35 every morning. But if I don't get that rest, I can't. And, like Atomic Habits, Jody Carrington, everyone says, you got to show up, right? You need to show up, or else what good is whatever you were attending? So my thoughts are rest and just trying to stay in the most healthy, stressless, mindset you possibly can. Because if without it, you're not gonna live for a long time. And then B, you're not gonna be that like happy, supportive person to anyone around you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, one big thing, and I love your reality versus Instagram kind of idea. Like, how you took the tech, like, but this is my thing though. I see all these people on Instagram, so happy. Life is perfect. The biggest smiles. It's all edited. I got this. You know what? This is a prime example. It's beautiful that I get to, capitalize on one of my best friend's studios, but you would have just saw the raw HDMI video footage from the beginning of this until all of a sudden the camera connected randomly, and then now look at
now you look legit.
I look like Neki in here. I'm just doing another webinar. But you can see that this chair is made for like a 6'6" guy.
Oh my gosh! I hope he like.
I'm sure his head's here, and I'm just like, I have. Oh, you better believe.
It's just the longest podcast of we're just full of Neki jokes. Anyways, I loved his shirts. Did you make his shirts?
Yes, we did. So my buddy, I want to finish here. We got we got an up light, we got a soft light, we got a backlight, so look how sweet this is. And like, really, it's just a studio with a bunch of lights and it's camera and stuff. But this is what I mean. When you go on Instagram, you see these people saying like, this kind of, persona on you. And then you turn around and you see them at, I don't know, Superstore, Home Hardware, wherever. And they don't even say hi to you. They're like, their heads down, they're mad. And I get people have bad days and maybe you just crossed them at that point, but you shouldn't see them every time and they're like that. And you're like, yo, no. I just seen a post where you super happy. And it's literally, I saw it in the car before I left. And now it's, well, what happened? Like, what happened that you're like, that we're like this now, right? So my thoughts are, I love the reality versus Instagram stuff, right? The reality versus social medias, right? Because when you show up at Home Hardware, you got to be that same person. You got to be high five. And when I run, I make it a solid effort to high five, wave. If I pass someone, high five. Old people, young people, you see it, right? I say hi.
Oh,
and and I wave at every single car in the morning. Every car in the morning when I'm running. That's hundreds of. Some people don't wave, and when they don't wave, I'm like, really get in front of them. Yeah, I got to get extra on it because I want them to just smile. Because I don't know them, but who cares? Maybe they'll be stoked about it. So, yeah,
It is those things that make a difference. They truly do. And it's like, it's a gift you're giving. It really is a gift of your joy and energy and happiness. And it, for some reason, when you give it away, it makes you feel so good. I don't know any other way to describe it. Like that's what I mean. Changes who you are.
I know exactly. And it's and the effort and like, so when you're running, you know this because you run as well.
Not as fast as you,
It doesn't
because
matter.
we've run into each other and I'm like, no.
Hey, but we ran together. Hey,
We
there's
did.
no one's, this is, there's not, it's not
You
a
got
race.
me on a nosebleed day. I
Yeah, that
was
was a
like,
good day. That was
I'm
a good
not
day. That was a
ready
good
to
day.
see a person right now. I probably
Shit.
have blood on my face.
Shit happens. And then all of a sudden you see, here comes Mike out of nowhere. And you're like, oh God, of course I have to
Yeah,
run into this
fuck.
guy.
Yeah.
It's 5 a.m. I'm bleeding. It looks like
Yeah.
someone. Well, the first thing as a friend comes here, I just go, "Are you okay?" Because it's someone like you never know. It's early, and did
Right.
someone come after you? Like, did you
You're in the
fall?
woods bleeding. So
You're like, no, I just got a nosebleed. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
all right. Um, but
Let's run together.
yeah, let's run together, right? And let's have some fun. Let's have some jokes. Who cares? Minus the nosebleed, like it doesn't affect me. Like, don't. Who
No, you're
cares?
so great.
But you know, that simple high five, that simple smile. I always do a peace sign, and you know what? It's great. One of my sponsors, Brain Sport, they got me these neon gloves, and they're like bright yellow, like extremely yellow running gloves. So now when I give people this, like, there's no way they can't see. I didn't see them. I did not see. No,
They're
you.
reflective.
And then some people are forced to, and, it's always the joke that, the I get one of these off the steering wheel. Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
you doing?
I
I get one.
guess.
I guess I'll try. And I get one of these. Yeah, I see you running. And then then I'll get, some people just salute, like, how you doing? And then the next person's just, oh my God. And the best part is now I run so much the same route that they're like, kids, roll down your window, kids, roll down your window. And then they'll yell out the window, good morning. And I'm like, now we're making a change.
Yeah.
That drive to school probably sucked. They're probably sitting back there like, this sucks. And now I got one of my neighbors, their son Eric, he's out the window. What's up, Mikey Dubz? And it's like, it's like 7:30 in the morning. I'm like, does he know? I wonder if we're going to school.
You're
He
as
has to.
popular as the garbage man.
Yeah, you know what though? That guy shows up every day. Because if he didn't, think of how mad we would be.
Yeah.
So it's great, but yeah, you have to just go out of your way. And if you want, I guess, and not everyone's extroverted, right? But you got to go out of your way and you got to try to, simple things make a difference, right? Because the world, if we don't, will naturally go the wrong way, and all we'll do is complain about it. But there's little things we can do to help switch it to go the better way. Is it the right way? Maybe not. But is it a better way? Probably. Or do we delay the wrong way, right? There's too many upsets in the world for me to not be able to go,
The
hey,
world is constantly on fire.
and I'm just out there with a water gun shooting the bush every once in a while, like,
Yeah.
trying my best. What can we do?
I mean, we're one person and life truly is short. And Jen Sincero talks about the energy that human beings waste on proving that they're right or
Yeah,
proving that someone else is wrong.
I agree.
Why?
Like, but you know what? It's because they gotta have a one up on someone. And this is what I love
Yeah.
about, again, I hate this. Runners always talk about running. That's just like a known fact. And anyone that would ever listen, if they've even started running, if they've been in running, they'll go, when you run or you talk running, it's like the Kool-Aid. But it teaches you so much in life, right? And the thing about that is, every race you show up, you could show up to a race and everyone will go, Mikey Dubz, fast. Like you said, he's gonna win it. He's gonna win it. And I show up with this as, I can't wait for someone here to just kick my ass. Someone I don't know, someone that's from like Wainwright, Edmonton, Lloyd, Onion Lake, North Battleford. Someone's just gonna show up and spank me out here, and I'm going to love every minute of it, and I'm going to hug them at the end, because that's life. Life is not participation ribbons, and that's the one issue we have. Everyone getting one, so then they get entitled, right? Whenever anyone says that, I always go to them, I'm like, no, like, that's not how life works. Like, no matter what door opens, someone's going to have more talent, skill, or just the grit to just pound you open, right, with that. So I was like, this is what I love about it. It teaches you, it humbles you really quick. You can train and be like, I know I'm fast. I know I'm this. And then Craig Blythe shows up and just smokes you with a sailor's hat. And you're like, what? Where did this guy come from? And then now me and Craig are really good buddies, right? So it's yeah, it's the world we live in. And, like I said, we don't want to go backwards, but we're really promoting it. So everything I can do to go forwards, water gun with a forest fire, like, I'm trying, like, and and I surround myself with the same people that are trying. Neki Jamal, right? Like he's one of my best friends. And, I'm so grateful for him in my life because he keeps me super grounded. He keeps me on a positive energy. People like yourself, like we don't talk every day, but positive energy. If I know I needed like some lift me up when I just like hit something and I know you're the right person in my circle for it, then you know what? I won't be hesitant to reach out to you, say, hey, we need to grab a coffee. I just something in my head and you're the best person for it. Clark Drury, unreal human being. I don't know what Clark just carries such a positive energy in his heart. And that it's hard to say. And then, like my buddy, Kevin Tidelgo, from Saskatoon, he's a graphic designer. And the reason I say these three people specifically is because the three of us opened our own print shop, right? Called Collab Print Collective. And all of us had the same vision in our heart is how do we help the community? Like we're for the community, by the community kind of deal, right? And like it was like a no-brainer when we're like, hey, we all were in our own clothing industries. We're all designing our own lines. Why don't we just take a run at this? Because we love it so much, right? And then getting to know them more and more. Like I knew Neki and Clark for a long time, and Kevin, obviously. But now working together as a business partners, it's become such an eye-opener of how much they love the community, how much they love the people around them, right? And it's just so uplifting. You have the worst day ever. You go to Collab's print shop and you're just like revived. And it's just like, it's sweet.
Yeah,
And
we have a special community for that. If you're in search for it, like if you're looking for that kind of uplift, and you're right, there are days when you don't feel good. There are days when you need to rest and take time for yourself, or there's times when you need that support and to reach out. And to be honest, I'm not very good at that. I'm not very good at keeping friends or relationships, and everyone else is the reason like it works, and I'm getting better, and I know that I have to improve that. And I know that I used to sit in ho-hummery hard, and it's my natural inclination to doubt myself or take the bad out of a situation. I think that's human nature to an extent, and it takes work to sit where you're sitting. It takes work to sit in that mindset and surround and to know and to consciously surround yourself with people who uplift you and are not sitting in ho-hummery with you. It honestly has taken years, and even like my own partner, we're working hard together. I watched this thing, and it's like positive journaling. So you just go like, what's good in my life. It's not like just gratitude. Gratitude is great, but what went well today? 3 things that went well. And so we've been doing it at night, and he's telling me stories I would never have heard, or we would have just gone on and both watched our set. He watches hockey, or I would have done art or whatever. Right. And so it even takes work in these relationships with people. And I was telling him about my 20-year eco home I was going to build on my dad's land. And he's like, what?
Like, this is from Carly? Like, you're talking to Carly, right?
He's like, where are you? Yeah, Carly. What are you like? Can you just come down here to like today for a second? And I'm like, no, like, he's like, that's not a real. I'm like, it's a 20-year plan. Of course it's a real thing. That land, my dad has it. This is a more dream than I've ever had. This is a more tangible dream. I'm like sketching it out.
Carly's like, I can build
about
that.
It.
He's like, I could build that.
We own a building supply store. I know,
and the guys you guys are very hands-on. So it's like, he's just like, oh.
I'm like, how is this not? But I also fight really hard for my dreams. Like really, really hard. Like if someone tells me no, it's like a hard like comeback. Like they told me I couldn't. I will. That happened with my book too. They were like, what book? What are you talking about? I was like, I know the title for my book. They're like, well, this is the first time we've heard about a book.
Yeah.
And you do have to fight hard for your dreams. And these relationships are important. And I'm learning that so much. And I know I am becoming very good friends because I'm working closely with Stephanie Monroe from Lloydminster Region Health. Oh my gosh. Like if you... She's like, I don't even know what don't worry, we got this. Like,
she's unreal.
We got this. like, and I know you text regularly with her because every time I'm with her, she's texting you.
Yeah, I feel so bad because she's like a ninja. She'll send me some on like iMessage and then through WhatsApp, but I don't check WhatsApp very often. It'll be like a week later I'll reply to her WhatsApp. But she's just full of ideas and she's full of life. And like, yeah, sorry, not to go on that tangent, but like she's another person. That's the person in my circle, right? Like, and as you get older, you got to keep the circle a little bit tight because when you're young, I don't know if it was like a popularity thing. It was just the way that as a kid, you're growing up, you want as many friends as you can have and everyone to love you. And you're almost like a yes person all the time. But then as you grow older, you go, how do I surround myself with people that are meaningful to me? They're meaningful to myself, my heart, but they're meaningful to the passions and the things that I do. Right. And I think that's where you start to kind of, and you said you're bad at holding relationships. Maybe that's just like, relationships and friendships and all this other stuff that just don't align with where you're going. Right. It's not that you're bad at it. It's just your interests aren't the same. And therefore it's just kind of a drift, right? It's not that you're bad at it. You're just
Totally.
drifting, right? So, in your head, you got to, not be so hard on yourself saying I'm bad because I don't text ABC. Well, ABC doesn't text you, obviously. And if they do, like they're hey, Randy, you want to go to brew house and have as many shots as we can. And that's fine if that's what you're into. But you're like, I kind of like painting and stuff, like, right? I want to, do some yoga. I
I
want
like painting alone in my basement,
to, but you know what? I
drinking tea and
but you
going
know
to
what?
bed early.
But I'm not gonna lie to you. You think you like painting alone in your basement. That's what you tell yourself. But that one time when I was like, hey, I want to come over and like shoot some stuff and paint, you were like, yeah, right away. You're not like,
Oh,
no, no,
yeah.
no. This is sacred. This is a sacred basement where
No.
I paint. You were right away like, yeah, if you want to do it, it's open door policy. So as much as you're like, I like doing it alone, like of course everyone needs their alone time, but
I have stepped into that, and I don't know why I for so long was ashamed of the fact I love people. I love being around people. I love collaborating with people, and I know you do too. And like I love to be seen and heard and sharing positivity. And I think it's so important to inspire through example.
yep.
And you're right. There relationships that fall away. Relationships should be partnerships. And I guess I feel a sense of guilt maybe or something, but I love connection. And you probably get this a lot, but when you're in home hardware, like if I almost have to like not book meetings there anymore because I get stuck there for 3 or 4 hours.
And it's crazy, right? Like, and it's like you go there to get a coffee, and I spend more time talking to like young people in the lineup, old people in the lineup, people eating, friends I haven't seen for years, maybe 10s of 20s of years, everybody. And it's tough, right? Like, so you kind of almost go to the mindset where like, all right, I'm going out in public, and you know what's funny? I see Steph Monroe every time I go. Either
Really?
either me and her have the
She
same.
must have a clone.
Or it's no, because it's her. It's her. She talks to me, and it's her. Her clone knows everything, and it's. I think it's funny because I tell Kenita this every time I come out. I go, guess who I saw? She goes, Steph Monroe. I go, yeah. I said, so either she's always at Superstore, or we have the exact same schedule. Because I only go once in a blue moon, but when I come, I see Mikey Dubz. How are you? And I'm like, oh my god, Steph. I'm like, it's a random time. Like either 6:30 or whatever time, 7:15 in the morning when they open. I'm like, okay, no one's here. I'll quickly do it because I got so much to do today. Guess who there? Steph. Sometimes I drive by and I see her vehicle. I just keep driving. I'm not even going in. Nope, not making this happen.
Oh, she's the best. I saw her yesterday at the Heart of Treaty 6 meeting, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Another group of like really special people in this community doing the right things for the right reasons. We all just cry there all the time. It's so beautiful. But like Steph came yesterday for the first time, and I was so glad to see her there. And she was drinking like this green thing, and I know you understand.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I was just trying to Mike. I was like, we're just gonna like not energy drink, but like put all the like what for like it's taking care of your body. This is how you get up to this energy level. Is like, what are you putting in it that fuels you in the right way? And so I know we've talked about it a couple times. Like you were like, "How is Mudwater?" And then you're drinking AG1. I'm like, "How is AG1?" And then Steph was drinking more like more like a glowing
Spirulina
algae
stuff, like a
green
spirulina like drink
green.
that she concocted.
No, it's a different. She said she was too cheap to buy AG1,
It is
so
expensive.
she got like a different. You know what I did is I haven't gotten it yet. And I'm excited to try it because I tried my water for a couple months, and so I'm excited to try AG1. I don't know if I can sustain being on all the drinks,
I know,
but
I know.
um,
My wife's gonna call you right after this and say, Brandy, you gotta shut your mouth.
shut your
Because
face.
Mike, if you tell Mike it's healthy and that you might have a proven data fact that it's gonna work, he's on it. Because guess what's at
I
my house,
loved it because
Brandy?
I love the
No,
mushrooms.
guess what's in my house now too? I'm on that mud
Yeah,
water too
mud
because
water.
Brandy's like, yo, Mike, I drink this, it's really good. And I'm like, oh, I'm on AG1. And then, I let you're like, just give me some time to like make sure it works. And then I kind of gave it like, a couple weeks and I was like, nah, I gotta try
I
it too. I
can't
gotta,
wait.
I gotta
Can't
jump on the
wait for
wagon with her.
her.
Oh yeah, she's gonna go.
I like it, but you can also get like mushroom supplements in the same respect for less. But so I asked Steph about her drink, and she's like, "It's a cheaper version of like AG1," but I still take my multivitamin.
Oh, you're just gonna be
Like,
packed.
you're like your your urine must be glowing in the toilet and like corroding through the pipes because I'm
It's
like,
just
that is so type A. Is to like,
the
I don't feel
phytonutrients.
like this vitamin drink was enough for me. I have to also take my cheeks hurt from this conversation. I don't think I've had a podcast where like my cheeks are throbbing
I
from
know, because you're just,
smiling and
hey,
laughing.
I did a presentation. I'm going to go on this rabbit hole now. I did a presentation in front of a bunch of engineers a week ago, and it was a leadership moment. They call it safety or leadership moment. But I always kind of just I bend it.
I took my
I took my chance.
opportunity.
I was there. It was my. I get 10 minutes and let me go. So it's funny. I talked about smiling and the benefits of smiling and how it's like it numbs pain, it numbs stress, it blocks out, it releases different hormones in different aspects of your brain. It helps with like receptors, the nervous system, cardiovascular system. I went into like, because it's engineers, so I went into the data, the studies. But smiling is just, again, in the running world, it increases your efficiency of running. So your speed and length of time on foot by purely smiling while running, even if it sucks so bad. So you're just, I hate everything. I hate everyone. My legs are going to fall off. But the smiling will actually trick your brain to go, wait a minute. Like, this can't be that bad. We're actually having a joyful moment here. So then it actually numbs out the pain. So some of the world's best runners, if you watch them in the Olympics, not at the finish line, but like at that hard point, even hockey
It's
players.
painful smiling.
Yeah. Oh, God, damn it, I love it. And they're just, but you know what? The brain is numbing it out. So I did a presentation on smiling. So when we sit here and we have a good laugh and we're smiling, like, this is natural, right? But at the same time, it's just like, it's beautiful, right? We need more smiling in the world, right? Good and bad, apparently, for the good and for the bad. Like, when it sucks, you smile. There's meetings sometimes where, I get so frustrated, and I think about, because I've always known about the smiling thing, and I'll just like, so frustrated. I'm just sitting there smiling, but it's not like I'm not
Crazy.
laughing. I'm not laughing. I'm Joker smiling in the corner. So but yeah, you're absolutely right. Is the smiling and the mud water and the AG1 and everything in plus everything out, the high five.
No one has paid us for these, by the way. I found Shane, who invented Mudwater, the founder of Mudwater, and he's a painter. He's an artist. And so I like looked into
ambassadorship.
Yeah, no, I haven't. It's on my like to-do list to message him, but I was like, I want to invest in his company, but they're not public. I don't know anything about investing, but I was like, I feel like this is a good thing. They're doing good things.
Yeah.
And but I don't know anything. I'm trying to figure it out. Jill from Red Bicycle, she's like, you say you don't know, but that doesn't mean you can't figure it out.
I love
it. That's true.
Jill's a great human too. Jill is a great human
amazing. She like I wish I could have her as a mentor like every day, because she just reminds me of the power of being a female and what that means, and like, why can't you, she questions me all the time,
Yeah.
and I think that is important to have those relationships, like, but Brandy, why can't you do that?
No
Like
is not an
with
option
the
with you.
investor, no, with the investing thing, she's like, why can't you figure out investing? And I was
Yeah.
like, well, I don't really love math, but I'm sure I could.
So this is my
Like,
thing though with the investing. So um everyone
also,
wants to
you
be.
needed some extra money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hold
Like,
on.
what a,
Is
not a lot.
that a Loon Lake mug?
Oh my gosh. Yes. I
I
actually
saw the
think it is. This
I
is my
saw the
dad. My
yeah.
dad buys things from the interval store.
Yeah,
And when
I
you
saw it
said that,
earlier.
I, like, the memory clicked on of, yes.
Shout out
Yes.
Makwa. Shout out Makwa Beach.
Yeah.
Man, what a beautiful area that is too. We'll get to that if we have time today. Some things I'm hoping we can do out there this summer with
Oh,
collaboration
love
of
to
some
hear
other
about
people.
that.
Yeah. But I want to go back to the ambassadorship, because this is another thing I think people don't talk about a lot. Everyone wants to be ambassador for someone, right? Because they think it's sweet to have endorsement deals with people. They get a discount code, and then now they're faking it to promote something because somebody's giving them a discount or a free bit of swag
Yeah, no,
every
that's
year. To me, that's not
how
how
I do things.
and this is where I wanted to go with where your heart is. You just laid it out without me even asking you on that. You wanted to invest money into Mudwater, your own personal minus 1,000, broke person money into Mudwater, because you believe in what they're trying to do, right? So my thoughts are, that's why I said to you, why don't you just try, like when you said that, I said, why don't you be like an ambassador? Because if you believe it enough that you would sink your money and time into it, then why wouldn't you? And I had a great conversation with the people from AG1, to be honest with you. Like, I kind of did a couple posts about it because I was like, I'm experimenting with this. I've got a lot of data to see how my health is. Let's see what happens. And they kind of reached out to me, and we had this communication about back and forth about ambassadorships. And my issue, which is fair because that's their business philosophy, was my following wasn't 1 million people. Right. And that's a criteria for them. And that's fine. I'm not
Oh,
judging you.
wow. That's high. That's
Yeah.
high.
No, but it's
But what about real people? Like,
no, but that's
now
the
you can pay for things like that.
and
Like,
maybe it wasn't exactly 1,000, but it was like or 1 million. It was like it was like an astronomical number that I just don't have, and that's not what I'm about. I'm actually trying to promote people to do better, and like what I've done that's worked for me. Not saying what I've done is for everybody, but what I've done worked for me is, I have some data behind it. So if you're interested, let me know, because I can kind of show you how it worked for me. And AG1 was just blown away with like how I like my lifestyle and stuff. And they were like super like, we really appreciate what you've done and how you're doing it, and like just in life and whatnot. But my father, I said, that's totally fine. I'm still gonna get it from you because it's good for me and it's fine. I don't need an ambassadorship because I don't want to feel like I have to, promote it. Same with Mudwater. I've been taking it for a month now. Love it, right? It works for me, but I believe in the mushrooms. I believe in, the turmeric. I understand the science behind, there's turmeric and pepper in it. And people look at it and go, there's turmeric and pepper in your Mudwater tea. Yeah, but do you understand pepper increases the turmeric inflammation process by 1,000?
yeah,
Like,
it absorbs it.
yeah. So
If you just take turmeric, you're not absorbing it in the right amount. So if you're taking turmeric, you need the turmeric pepper blend, or I love, and not only that, like, I've done research into their Mudwater, specifically their company, and like the way they treat their employees and why they are doing things, which
it's
I
huge.
also really loved. And it's like we were talking about, it's relationships, it's real things, and how you feel and being authentic. And I know mushrooms make me feel better. I'm not talking about
Yeah, psychedelic.
psychedelics.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm
Everyone, you have
so
to clarify that
I'm
because people
fun
think,
enough. Yeah, you do have to clarify, because
yeah,
people immediately jump there.
Brandy down in her
Uh,
basement on mushrooms painting again.
I'm so fun without drugs and alcohol.
Yep.
Not that I know microdosing has helped people through trauma and post-traumatic stress and all those things. Like, it is, like, people are researching hard into that now, and it is therapeutic. However, I know that it's maybe not for me. But the mushrooms I started, I believe, in June of last year. So almost a year of my naturopath was like, we're doing this for hormone balancing, but also it'll just chill you out a touch. And I was like, sure.
Sure.
Like,
Bring it on. Let me try it.
I'm like, I don't believe you because, everyone says all these things, right? Especially in the health world. Like, this is going to cure your whatever. And you're like,
Everything.
yeah, this is the answer for your life.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so I'm on it for like a month and we take this vacation and we're stuck in the airport in Victoria, which is a tiny ass airport, in the security line, and the power like flicks, and there's 200 people in a hot room in a line. And I was like, well, we can't control everything. I was like, just relax. And so Carly's like sweating in a backpack.
He's like, are you all right?
He's like,
are you all right, honey?
He's like, who are you? And then, so for me at this time, and we're just going to talk about female, for a second, female cycles, I got my cycle on the plane. So at that moment in my life, I should have been batshit crazy normally. Like, I would have been like, fuck, who's these people? Like, get it together, or like, just freaking out. I have 3 kids in a hot room stuck in a line with 200 people. Like, so I'm just like, oh my gosh, the mushrooms are working. And I don't think, because I didn't believe they would. So it was just like, something's different here. And so I've been like, I stopped the mushrooms and just went to mud water because I love matcha without. So what they promote is energy throughout the day without the crash.
Yep.
And I have a big problem crashing at 3 p.m. every day and not being able to really recover mentally or anything like that. And so this mushroom adventure and this like omega-3s and everything you do to have that like sustainable energy and carry it on and be the best person, mother, community-minded individual. Like, it starts with the health fundamentals of. Did you watch that Stutz documentary on Netflix with Jonah Hill?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And the doctor talked about the pyramid.
Yeah.
Where the pyramid started.
Yeah.
Like, people can't move up on their pyramid if they don't start with like the fundamentals of just taking care of yourself first.
I agree. And that's the problem, is everyone thinks that they're just going to show up and do everything else. But like, again, we'll go right back to where it started. If you can't show up, you can't get anything done. What good are you if you're showing up to a million things? That's great that your resume says, I'm part of this and this and this and this and this, but I contribute nothing. Right? Like, it's great that you can say you're part of all that stuff. But then on the backside of it, you should also have a thing aside of saying, what do you contribute? And there'd be nothing, because they can't show up because they're either overloaded, not taking care of themselves. So it's pointless. You're actually just wasting your time and potentially everyone in the room's time because you're providing nothing because you can't show up. Man, you know what people are right now going to be mudwater.ca / color me mud.
Yeah, color me mud.
That'll be your
new podcast.
No, that's your.
No, I want to have him on talking about. I know he's like a really big. I listened to some of the podcasts he's been on. He might be able to tell me about the positive things about psychedelics and stuff like that, because that is what he believes. Then I had a conversation with my uncle, and he's like, invest in yourself because you're your best, like you're your best bet, right? Like, when you think about investing, and see, this is what I'm talking about, what Jill said, like, I maybe am not at the point where I'm investing, but I'm doing the research and asking people about it so I can figure it out for when I do, because I know I will have time and money to invest in the future. And like, I've got all the basic ones done. Like, we've been on those forever. I put a little away because I believe in the little bit every time, and we're done with that. I just like, maybe want to try. So I'm asking people about, I'm having conversations, and my uncle's like, buy land and invest in yourself and do stuff with it. Like, he had information too. And I'm like, that's a really good point. If I were to invest, I would invest in myself because I try really fucking hard.
So
right?
What we're saying here now is we got color me mush. So you have
Yeah.
your own line. You don't
It's
need them
funny,
anymore. You don't need them anymore. You got Color Me
before I
Mush
started drinking mud water, I had my own, I
concoction.
was blending my own concoction.
Just a science fair
I
upstairs,
know,
eh?
I was just, I have a coffee grinder, and I was putting it in Carly's coffee every morning because he still drinks coffee. I can't drink coffee because I get so high.
Just like ah.
Yeah,
That's how that rainbow is off.
my
That's how the
eyelids
rainbows.
twitch.
That's why the
That's like
rainbow's off the
I
canvas.
can't see. I can't even see, Mike, because my eyelids start twitching.
Oh, I was just like,
So,
I just die. But this is what I love is just this could be a
so
17-hour podcast of
I
us just like
know.
someone throw a topic out there and we will go down it and explain why we're going after the mud water. But then the ambassadorships, we loop this and close this circuit off is with if you don't believe in it though, you shouldn't endorse it. That's my biggest
No.
thing. And that's life too. If you don't believe in it, don't endorse it. Right? Just because it's a fad, because it's something you love. Like when I started like back to the running, like I have some serious like ambassadorships with 3 major companies now, and it's because I believed in them well before we even linked, and I still believe in them and they believe in me, and we are like a family now. This isn't like I don't have to post anything about them, I don't have to say anything about them, I just have to support them in the way I live. That's all they ask for. And I could never be more thankful for people. Like, I always tell people whenever they send me shoe stuff, they always go, I want some Hokas. What should I do? I say, go to Brain Sport and get them to fit you, because Brain Sport of Saskatoon, I run for it, but this is the best ambassadorship I've ever had. I get nothing from Brain Sport. I pay full price for everything that I buy from Brain Sport. I don't get discount codes. We waived all that, right? We kind of sat down, but you know what they do is by not giving me discount, by them being local, they can support things like the Thorpe like running program, right? They can give a ton of shoes, they can give clothes, because they're not giving people like myself these huge discounts. They're actually, they make their money, and then instead of the discount, they go, well, I'm gonna hook up your community, right? So that's why
They're
you have
giving
to.
back.
They do, right? And it's like it's phenomenal. Like Sealy and Hoka, like it's just amazing. These relationships I've built is because I believed in them, and then they actually believed in me, right? I wasn't some guy that just wrote a resume to them and like exaggerated some stuff about what I did. It's like they kind of fact checked me, and we kind of worked together, and we're like, do we want to get in bed with each other? I don't know. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh, this is the best little relationship we've had, and we have a good time. And that's one thing. Like, would I vouch for AG1 and Mudwater without them? Yeah, for sure. Because I believe, like, I'm like you. I believe in that. I would have been the same as you. Coffee grinder. I need some lion's manes pachanga. I need some turmeric, and too much
Cinnamon,
pepper.
turmeric.
Yeah, just nutmeg. Just get the nutmeg in there.
I actually still add to the mud water. I was like, they just need a touch more cinnamon and nutmeg, and we're good.
See, that's what I.
But I'm super snobby about food. But
you should write them a review. Write them a review. Yo, more cinnamon, yo.
I was like, I have to hold. Like, some people would take that the wrong way. Like when I messaged him, by the way, it just needs a little more cinnamon, just a little for like the overall like taste in your mouth. Okay, I just want to touch on one last thing. Was there like a decision when you do so much for our community, and you have these great partnerships, and was it like a conscious shift? When did that happen for you in your life? Was there a conscious time that you can think back to where you're like, this feels so good, and I want to do as much as I can?
Actually, yeah, I know exactly when it happened. So me and Kevin, like my business partner today, we used to DJ all over the place, and we call ourselves the Disco Ninjas. And we had a great group of a following of our friends. Right? It wasn't a following. I don't like using the word following. We had a great group of friends that would always come out and support our shows no matter where we were. And the one day, me and Kevin are sitting there like, this is great. And DJing is such a passion of ours. Like, we make a little bit of money from it and we get to enjoy it. But we're like, do you think we could do something more with it? And so we sat and we're like, yeah, I think we could. And then, like, again, like every terrible business decision, how about we give all the money away we make? It's like, okay, so we don't pay for any of our overhead. Like we pay for it our personal selves, and then we give everything away. And it wasn't that I'm suggesting everyone do this. It was just like, let's try it. So Kevin's like, yeah, I'm in. So we started DJing, and next thing you know, we bought a baby grand piano for like a youth shelter. And we didn't tell it who it's from. We just cut them a check, said, you buy what you can, here it is. And, they don't even know who we are. Just some DJs dropped off some money and said, buy baby grand piano. And we just want proof that you got it. And then, the next event, we're like, you know what, Ronald, kids are big to me. And, Kevin as well, like children, fortunately enough, me and Kenita now are expecting our first one. So I'm extremely like filled with joy. I don't even know how to show it. But the next one, I was like, let's help the Ronald McDonald House in Saskatoon, right? And so we DJ'd and we threw one or two parties, and we raised door cover, our paychecks, everything. We put it all together. We walked over and said, hey, Ronald McDonald, we want to pay for all your power and heating bills for the whole winter. And they just looked at me and were like, who are you guys? It doesn't matter as long as this gets the power. And so then they send us like this big thank you list saying, do you want us to recognize? Like, do you want something? No, we're just here to support. And then from that, we just kept giving and giving. And then as I grew kind of out of the DJ scene, because it was such a flooded market, and I can't stay up till 4:30 in the morning anymore. It's like 8:30. I was like, well, I'm going to do running. And then I loved running so much. I'm like, I bet I could make running the same thing. So I took the passion for running, turned it into a purpose. And then every time I ran, people would challenge me like, I bet you can't run for a full day for $7,500. Well, yeah, we will, but where are you going to donate it? Like, cause they get a tax return. So at least everybody wins. And then Steph and Sean, no, it wasn't Steph at the time. It was Sean, purely Sean. I have to give him credit because credit deserves where it's due. So Sean comes to me and he goes, hey, I want to do an interview with you. I do this little radiothon and we try to raise some money for the health foundation and the hospital. Do you want to co-host? Do you want to interview with me? What do you want to do? And I was like, well, yeah, sure. I'll do that for sure. But I think, man, give me one night. I think I could come up with something better. And he's just like, he knows me. He's like, okay, like who knows what this kid's going to come back with. And that's where it sparked the imagination of, let me run in a treadmill in a closet with no TV, no nothing, no like distractions. So I challenged mental health so hard, and people can live stream me. And so we ended up doing that. And, companies like at the time was, Husky and now Synovus, they gave a lot of money because like, they're like, oh, this is kind of funny. And he's an employee of ours. And then people around the community were, and they knew everybody that was on. So the money started coming in. And then the year after, it grew from one person running to 24 people running. And then the year after, now it's a dodgeball tournament. And now it's just this, it's literally the water gun in the corner shooting out some of the world's badness of the fire. Now we got like a bunch of, people together with buckets of water. And so we're pushing the fire back. We're just keep pushing it back. And it's sweet. That's where it all came from. It's just purely a passion into a purpose. That's the sum of it all, and showing up every day for it. And that's how it all started. And it's just been a roller coaster until last year. I told Steph, I was like, I have to actually pull back because I am on massive burnout. And I don't use that term lightly because everyone has a different line in the sand of where that is. But me, it was like I was past the line and I was pushing on all cylinders. And I'm like, this will actually like destroy me right away. So I had to pull back. And, that's where Neki was huge in my life. Because he's big in the community as well, right? And he told me, I get it, Mike. And this is where we got to prioritize like what you do, what I do, how we invest our time. And it's like, yeah, that partnership with Neki was amazing. And, Kenita, my wife, poor girl, like 2-3 years of me just always gone, and not like gone because business, gone because I'm like volunteer clubs, running, raising money, building stuff, building platforms for people. And that poor girl, she's at home keeping our life together, right? And we don't like, we had a dog, and we didn't have any kids at the time. And so it's like, she deserves like, this trophy because I could show up, my clothes were clean, we had food in the fridge. And it was like, man, like, it just allowed me to keep going. So that's kind of where it all went.
Yeah. And you do have to take care of yourself, no matter, like, it seems like, because it does feel so good to give back. And I have been trying this too over the last few years, giving, no, for a while. More than a few years.
Yeah, for your life, forever.
Yeah. So, like consciously, anyway. consciously. It is such an amazing thing to, and I really do think you receive so much in return. However, yours like caught on so hugely that it was like you had to um pull back and take time for yourself, and that takes bravery too. And good for you for recognizing that, because you know you have to be there for yourself and your partner, and you have to be there for your community in what, and they'll understand and accept you in all your forms. They know what you can do and what you're capable of. That doesn't mean you have to keep doing it all the time, right?
And that's fair, right? You got to do what you can do and where you bring the most value to the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're burning out and you can't bring that value anymore, then you got to kind of just understand. I got to draw, I got to like, step back here for a second. I got to reevaluate, and just, maybe I can delegate and encourage other people to like take a step forward, right? And then, support them so that you can't just be always, the face of like trying to go, 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 go. Like help support them and lift them up, lift the community up, lift others up so they can do it as well. And it's a big thing. And I always believe in karma at the end of the day. I believe, no matter whatever I can do for, my baba, your grandma, anyone else's, like, the elderly people I respect is huge. So whatever I can do for them, because the stuff they would have done to make the world, like, in the good places we are today, like you gotta step forward. And I really hope that kids catch on to that fire too, because you and I are going to be, older babas and grandmas, Guidos and, grandpas, like however you want to call it. We're going to be there, and I'm going to be looking for that little punk, Mikey Dubz, to be, whether it's running or just whatever it is, and Brandy painting and donating, to our local community centers to lift up the community, because I can't do it anymore. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where I hope it just keeps, you got to keep that fire alive and encourage people that, and it's not about the followers. It's not about the likes. It's not about the tags. It's purely about what is meaningful to you and what realistically impacts the community, like the hospital. Got another X-ray machine, got a portable this. So, as simple as what, and I love Sean, the first time he did, it was like, we're trying to get ice machines for the hospital. I'm like, yes, it's like, yes, because that's a win. It's a win's a win, right? So
It is. And I feel like when you have a voice or a platform or people looking up to you, you have a responsibility.
mm-hmm.
Um,
Absolutely. I agree so much on
yeah.
that.
And
So
we have to consciously be aware of, what that means. And I honestly, I don't even know how I got so lucky to be surrounded by amazing people like yourself and Steph. And not saying it's easy, like these things aren't easy. I'm really excited with our upcoming mural project that I'm giving back $25,000 of my artist fee into the community for trauma programming for mental health through Project Sunrise. But yesterday I just had, and this is how safe the Heart of Treaty 6 meeting is. I like kind of started crying a bit. I'm just like, this isn't, I'm really exhausted. And when you cover the topics of separatism or racism, like, and I'm not taking away from, and this is the thing, like, I'm not taking away from people who have experienced racism. I can't walk in that realm of like, I don't know what that feels like, but I do know what it feels like to stand up for racism not being right, and it's not easy.
it's
And
you're
and
absolutely right.
so I'm going to keep going, no doubt, no matter how many years it takes. But it's like I was just like, I'm tired.
Well, and you know what? And you're going to be
You
tired
know?
chasing it, right? Because for every person that's trying to do good, unfortunately, I think there's multiple people coming back at you. So if you put racism, for example, as that fire in the forest, right? You're at the corner shooting it with the gun. The hopes are that a few of us with the water guns, shooting it for, racism, anything of that nature, that all of a sudden people start coming with the buckets of water, because now we have a force to start putting it out, right? and
Mm,
and and we all have to just do what we can to support it, and do what we can at the time, right? It's one thing to say, yeah, I'm trying to support it, but yourself going out there doing the mural, like in the scheme of things, it's very small, but it's something very big in your life. So that will show others, that, okay, maybe there's something I can do too, right? Maybe I don't know what it is. I'm going to try to build something or donate this way or that means, but it all adds up at the end. The problem is the fire is just so big, and it'll always be big coming at you. It's not just going to go out one day, right? So you got to be consistent. You got to walk the talk, right? You really do. If you
Mm-hmm.
say you're going to do something and you're going to stand for it, figure out, okay, now how do I do it, right? Not just I'm here for it, and then that's it, right? You're here
Mm-hmm.
for it.
I laid on the living room floor the one day before our live panel discussion. I was like, said to Carly, I'm like, I'm tackling racism, and I just laid on the floor. I'm like, what am I doing?
And because it's an endeavor that's ginormous.
I'm like, and I'm just like, and then I show up to the panel and we do our thing. And you know, we still need $35,000 for this one part of this one project. $35,000. We're getting there. And and people have stepped up, but it's a slow moving train,
But you know what? The train's moving.
it's okay.
Forward,
It is
forward. And one thing
it's what
before
it represents.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
so like, this is so beyond me and my energy. So yes, I'm tired and I'm laying on the floor being, what the fuck am I doing or getting into? Like, not everyone's going to receive this.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not.
Before you kill
what
this,
it stands for is
before you kill
so
this
much more than
recording,
me.
I just want to say though, you lay on the floor and you say, "What the f am I doing?" Right? The thing is, Brandy, you're doing something.
Mm-hmm.
That's what matters. The question isn't what am I doing? The realistic thing is you're doing something. That's what means the most. So you can't ever forget that, because a lot of people won't even lay on the floor and go, what am I doing? Because they haven't even thought of what to do. Right. So that's a big win. You know, don't challenge yourself. What am I doing? Yeah, I get it's crazy and it's going to be a lot of work and it's very optimistic and, you know, you got a big goal ahead of you. But guess what? You guys are doing it. That's the sweetest part. You're doing it.
Well, it took 2 years to get to the laying on the living room floor part.
Who cares? Who cares? But you're doing it now.
We're doing it.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the huge thing, right? And everyone needs that. Whether it's just everywhere life, school, life, business, volunteer, you know, things that are going on worldwide. Everyone's got to take that mentality. We got to do something, right? Because we want to be here forever. Everyone wants to be the best, you know, world we live in. So we got to do it, right? It's not,
and
what
it
am I
starts
doing?
with you. It starts with taking care of yourself first. If there's anything I think we should take away and wrap up with this conversation,
AG1 mud water. You can get us Color Me Mud. That's what we just your podcast today.
That'll be our factory. We just mix AG1 and mud water together in the, like, it tastes gross, but it's good for you.
But we got to put something that's super colorful, like your paintings in the background. So there's like that, you know, the color me has to be in there, Brandy. You can't forget about that. This is yours.
Oh man.
Oh God.
No, you got to show up for yourself first, and then you can start showing up for everyone else. I think at the end of the day.
I agree. And you got to support your friends. Support your friends. Support the people around you.
We could talk forever.
Yep.
Forever.
Make a wish at 11:11.
Yes, we'll do make a wish. We're gonna do more things together. I know when the universe calls for it.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just the way it'll work. I know it.
Exactly.
I know it.
And I appreciate you so much.
We're both up for anything. We don't know what it is.
But who cares?
But I have faith that it'll just be like something real cool.
Yeah, and you know Steph's going to be there.
Yeah, she'll be organizing and getting everyone to donate to whatever it is.
Yeah, she'll be there.
She's got a superpower. She's got a superpower and wouldn't be able to do anything without her. I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful for a lot of your time today.
No, it's totally fine.
Coming off this, really happy.
Yeah, keep the smiles alive. Keep the smiles alive. And go straight to Home Hardware now. And,
we'll talk to you soon.
Necky out. All right. Love you, Brandy. Thank you so much for everything.
Oh, love you too, my friend. Bye.
See you later. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed that just as much as I did. And we talked a lot about things that lift you up and the foundation and self-care, and really that is what our book is about. And with what our feedback that we've gotten in the last few months is that it really does uplift and helps people find those good parts of themselves and really truly see their everyday ordinary as extraordinary, because it is those small moments that add up to a lifetime. So check that out. The book actually comes with a free audiobook download, which I narrated, and I tried super hard not to fuck up. So it's mostly good. And sometimes there was little pitter-patters of footsteps over my head, because it actually did take 3 months to record 8 hours and 14 minutes of that book, or 19 minutes, something crazy. I don't even know how I did that. So for a mere $20, you can get our book, and my whole life poured into those pages, and so much time and energy, and I sure do appreciate your support. And speaking of that, thank you for supporting our podcast. We appreciate our sponsors so much. Nouveau Laser and Aesthetic Centers, Red Bicycle Communications, and Oasis Hot Yoga and Spin Studio. We could not do this without your support. Our community is a pretty special, amazing place, and we feel honored to be a part of it every day. So I hope you all the best, my friends, and I hope that you too are starting to see your everyday ordinary as extraordinary. All the love. Chat soon. If you're looking for some time for yourself to relax, release, and unwind, Oasis has the perfect space for you. They offer yoga and spin classes of all levels. Whether you are a beginner or advanced student, Oasis thrives on accommodating all aspects of the practice. Let their serene environment and gracious staff help you in your journey of peace, healing, and strength. Sign up online at www.oasishotyogastudio.com or by downloading the Oasis Hot Yoga Studio app. Feel like yourself. You deserve it.